Hi, I'm Jeff Jensen.
And I'm Mike DeSimone, and together, we're the World Wine Guys.
Welcome to our show, World Wine Guys, What We're Drinking. Today, we're going to do a tour of Chardonnay around the world.
That's right. You know, Chardonnay's original home, the place that it first grows and where it probably was most famous from for many, many years, is Burgundy or Bourgogne in France. And unfortunately, in recent years, Chardonnay had gotten a bad rap. There was this real movement, ABC.
Not deserved.
Right, anything but Chardonnay. Well, today we're here to show you NBC, nothing but Chardonnay.
I happen to love Chardonnay. You know, the whole ABC movement was really more about people didn't like really oaky Chardonnays. That's really what that was about.
Exactly.
And winemakers in France and California and around the world have gotten really judicious with their use of oak. A lot of times it's not 100% oaked, or a lot of times it's 25% new barrel or whatever, but they've gotten a lot better with that. And the taste of Chardonnay today, I think, is a more modern taste.
They're really letting the fruit shine through.
Well,
that's why we talk about the grape.
Well, let's start with a wonderful Chardonnay from California.
Okay, so this is Hartford Family Winery, Hartford Court, Russian River Valley Chardonnay. So it is from the Russian River Valley, which we've talked about before, is one of the finest Chardonnay growing areas in the United States. It's in Sonoma, and you've got a river running through it. It's not real far from the coast, so you get fog in the morning and through the early part of the day that protects the vines from the hot sunlight, and so that you're able to get like good fruit flavors but still keep the acidity.
And one of my favorite growing regions in the U.S., in California. So cheers to you. Thanks for watching, and cheers to you, Mike.
Cheers. Ooh, that's nice. Wow. Getting the Granny Smith apple.
Yeah, that smells really good.
Candied lemon peel.
Even like a little touch of florality.
Some floral notes,
Like a little bit of a white flower.
Absolutely,
really
like freesia.
Now, I've tasted it already.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm going to catch up.
All of those aromas transfer really seamlessly onto the palate, and that's something I love in a wine, when you actually smell what you get in your mouth.
Yeah, you know what? You've got the apple, but there's also like there's white peach, pear. There's a little touch of clove. There's a little spicy in there, but I'm going it again. What I really like about it is that it's really buttery. It's got really good mouthfeel.
Even like a little bit of butterscotch.
Yeah, and I know that it's barrel fermented, so that actually helps with the mouthfeel. It's in partial new oak, but the majority of it is old oak, and that older oak doesn't give that really strong, overpowering.
Exactly. This is only 25% new oak, as I talked about just a couple minutes ago. This is really a really judicious use of oak. In my opinion, this is a beautiful oak frame that frames the fruit.
Ooh,
this is really a nice way to make a Chardonnay. Now, Hartford Family Winery does make some single vineyard Chardonnays. So when you take a look for this, when you look in your local retailer or online, you can get, this is the Russian River appellation, or you can get a specific vineyard. So
this particular one though is available on b21.com, and it's $23.
It's a great Chardonnay at a great price. So give this one a try, but also give some of the single vineyard a try too. Why not, right?
Okay, so now we are going to move back to the original and the spiritual home of Chardonnay, Burgundy. So this is Louis Jadot Pouilly-Fuissé.
Right.
So that is Pouilly-Fuissé.
Pouilly-Fuissé,
I like that. There's an accent mark over the E. It is it's actually in the Mâconnais, so it's the southern part of Burgundy.
So you've heard of Mâcon. It's in the most southern part of Burgundy, south of Beaune.
Right.
And
so between the Côte de Beaune and actually then south of that you've got Beaujolais.
But Pouilly-Fuissé is a Chardonnay only appellation. So you do have some other grapes that are grown in Burgundy, as we all know. but Puy Fusé is Chardonnay only.
Exactly, and this has good limestone soils,
Yeah.
or, throughout the
Yeah.
appellation, and you're gonna smell it.
I'm
and
smelling
also,
crushed seashells almost. It's like
Yeah.
really got some great minerality.
Wow, I'm
Let's-
getting but not like a lot of Chardonnays are Granny Smith.
Uh-huh.
I'm getting like a red apple, like a delicious apple on this.
I'm getting again, I'm smelling like white flowers, but this time I'm smelling a little bit more like acacia.
Okay.
You know,
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes,
You get
and
that?
apricot as well.
Mm.
So let's go in.
Let's give it a taste. Could we not toast?
Mm.
Again, Mike does it without toasting. Cheers. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Toast to you. And
Taste
and
without
thanks
toast.
for
That's
watching.
right. Talk, toast, taste.
Well,
The
I
three
think
T's.
I think
Okay.
if you didn't swallow before you toasted, it's still legal. I think it's okay.
It's
right?
okay. Wow. So that's got lemon lime.
Right.
There's some toasted almond. It's very soft
Really
on the
pretty.
palate as well. I know that this is actually partially aged in oak and part in steel.
And it also gets a little bit of malolactic fermentation,
Right.
which makes it creamier,
Right.
without having too much oak. And that's a really nice technique that a lot of winemakers use, that malolactic fermentation, to give it that creamy
Does he
feel.
have to put $1 in the geek jar?
Yeah, I'm sorry. The word malolactic is definitely a geek
It is,
word,
but-
but our viewers really appreciate wine out there.
Absolutely.
So, they know the word malolactic, right?
It changes malic acid to lactic acid.
And lactic acid is like milk, so it's
So
like creamy.
It's what gives it that creamy texture and taste.
But there is no milk in this wine.
Exactly.
That's a question our students always ask. Is there milk in this? Is there cherries in it? Is there, lemon in it?
Nope, made with grapes, and the grape is Chardonnay.
So this is a wonderful Chardonnay from Burgundy, from Puy Fusé in the Mâconnais, and this is Louis Jadot. This
Exactly.
is a really super, super wine.
And you can get this at wine.com, and it's $29.
Great wine at a great price, again.
Okay, now we're going for something a little bit more exotic and
Uh-huh.
unusual. So this is Capensis South Africa Chardonnay
Wow.
from the Western Cape in South Africa.
South Africa has some amazing vineyards. We've been to so many of them in South Africa. And Capensis actually means cape in Latin. So it's a wonderful, wonderful area. The whole Cape area is where Stellenbosch is, Franschhoek,
Exactly.
all the
Yeah.
wine growing areas, Constancia.
Yeah, and so actually this has a really cool label. It's hard to see because it's kind of white on white, but the label actually has a lot of different plants and this
Yeah.
little embossed illustration. South Africa has one of the most biodiverse, or some of the greatest biodiversity anywhere in the world. And this is a joint project between Barbara Banke, who was married to Jess Jackson of the Jackson family, and Anthony Beck of Graham Beck, the famous
Beck, yeah.
South African sparkling wine house. And what's interesting, especially talking about biodiversity, is that Barbara Banke and Jess Jackson were really, and she still is, like they're really into conservation.
Yes,
And
yes.
not just rip out trees and plant vines, but keep the open spaces, the natural wetlands, and let the grapevines exist with what grows in the region naturally.
Sustainability, and that's really one of the nice things about this project. And by the way, the winery that makes this wine makes only this wine.
Yeah, they actually make 3 different Chardonnays, but all Capensis.
Yeah, which is really kind of wonderful.
Well, let's give this a taste.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, again, that smells so amazing. I'm getting like candied orange on this one, a little bit of flint even.
That was bad. But we
Yeah,
toasted.
we
it.
toasted.
I tasted
We
it
toasted.
again. Okay. Yeah, you know
I've
what?
got him nervous.
There is some flint. There's some flint or like some pencil lead, but candied orange. But there's also it's apple, but it's like a cooked apple, like applesauce. On the nose.
No, for
But
me,
then-
it's more like a Fuji apple. Not so much applesauce for me. It's more
Fuji apple. You get
Fuji
very,
apple.
I know, you're very specific there.
Well,
No,
we
but
have
you are
Granny
right.
Smith, we have Fuji, we
Red
have Delicious.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah.
I get that. The Fuji apple. But also some orange, like a Sevilla orange, like a bright citrusy, like not an overly sweet orange. But also there's that real On the nose too, there's that baking bread.
Oh, yeah,
soft
I get
stuff with
that.
a really nice bright acidity too.
Right.
Really, really is clean.
This
on
is
the
a
palate.
really beautiful Chardonnay.
And this one I know is aged 10 months in French oak. Only 40% of the oak is new. So again, older oak imparts a softer, mellower feeling of oak to the
And you
wine.
know, the cool thing to me about South Africa is that it's kind of between old world and new world. You know, they've been making wine there
For
since
hundreds of years.
hundreds
since
of
the 17th
years.
century.
So, you know, since the French Huguenots were kind of pushed out of France, they went
Right.
to South Africa to make wine, and other people obviously followed. But that said, it's kind of a bridge between the old world and
Yeah,
the new world,
it
you know?
is.
So it's got some really lovely old world flavors
Right.
and aromas, and some new world. So it's kind of fun.
And look, I mean, look at even the Cape Winelands. If you look at a map of, you know, of Africa and of South Africa, it sits right there
Yeah.
between the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Ocean.
It's-
You also have, it's a pretty cold weather wine region too. When we hear Africa, we think hot, but you're very close to Antarctica there as well. There's actually penguins at the very south part.
We've
of the
actually
Cape.
seen them.
Speaking
You know,
of
these,
biodiversity.
speaking of biodiversity, these are, you know, 3 wonderful Chardonnays, and they're from 3 beautiful places. We've been to all of these places, and we have to tell you that, you know, Chardonnay around the world is a really fun thing for us to do.
It's actually a fun tasting to do at home too, to get some, to get a few different Chardonnays. These are
Yeah.
3 that are, you know, very good to start with. Oh, actually, and this one you can get at capensiswines.com,
Right.
and it's $80.
Right, so you can buy all 3, you know, you can do a tasting at home, and that's what kind of makes it fun. They're similar, but different, and that's why we really love to do this type of tasting, you know,
Exactly.
Chardonnay around the world, Pinot Noir around the world, and
We did
it just-
Tempranillo recently too.
it just
so-
makes it fun for us.
Yep.
So we really appreciate you watching. We hope that you're enjoying our show. We're enjoying doing it for you. And we'll see you next week. I'm Jeff Jensen.
I'm Mike DeSimone. Thanks for watching World Wine Guys, What We're Drinking. Cheers.
Cheers and cheers.